Australian seafood. I love it and try to consume it at least twice a week. One of my favourite ways of enjoying seafood is in pancakes, along with a favourite vegetable, this one, the leek. It makes a little go a long way. First to the pancakes, and I use a mixture of 2 flours for the batter. Self-raising flour about 75 grams and plain flour the same amount. I mix them together, make a well in the centre and add an egg. I stir this up a little bit before adding 2 liquids, milk and water. Again, a 50-50 mixture. And I gently stir these up until I have a smooth solution with the texture of pouring cream. And because I'm using these pancakes with fish, I'm going to grate in a little lemon rind and sprinkle in some white pepper. I stir up gently, and the batter is allowed to stand for 30 minutes or so to allow the starch grains to plump up. Now to the seafood. I use at least 3 different seafood types. In this case, I'm using prawns, some red emperor fillet, and some scallops. And the first thing I do is to just dust the scallops lightly in a little flour. These are wonderfully tasty Carnarvon scallops from the northwest of Australia. Once sifted, they're set aside, and I start work on the prawns, cleaning them if necessary by slitting them down the back and removing the digestive tract. Then they're also dusted in flour and are ready for cooking. The fish next, red emperor fillet, which I cut into cubes, and again dust with flour. You can put a little pepper with the flour, but I don't use any salt. Now to the cooking, and this starts the way so many fabulous dishes start, with a little oil and some garlic, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic chopped up finely, and that just quietly cooks for a couple of minutes. Once the garlic has softened, I remove as much as I can, and then start cooking the seafood one at a time, starting with the fish fillets. Just a couple of minutes, they don't need more. Best not to overcook. Then they're removed, and in go the prawns. Even less time than the fish, just a minute or so. And they're removed, and the scallops, they hardly need anything at all. Just a searing. And out they come. Now, in the same pan, I make up a delightful herbed sauce. A small amount of butter, or you could use margarine. This is melted, then some corn flour is added, and the combination is cooked for a minute or so. Now in goes some good but lightly flavoured stock. I'm using a homemade veal stock, but a chicken or fish stock could also be used. Anything that's not too strongly salty. I don't want to overpower the flavour of the seafood. An optional splash of white wine now, and I use a fresh young wine. This is a blend of Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, and it'll work very well as an accompaniment to the finished dish. A little milk, and once I have a smooth sauce, I add some seasonings, some finely chopped dill, some parsley, and a little ground mace, or you could use nutmeg. Now into the sauce goes the garlic and the cooked seafood. I put it aside and start cooking the pancakes. Now this is where the fun begins. I love making pancakes. I use a non-stick pan, but I do use just a smear of oil on the bottom, and then in goes a little of the batter. Yes, yes. Just a few seconds on one side, and then it's up and over, and the other side is cooked for a few seconds. I keep making pancakes until I've used up all the batter, And once the last one is made, it's time to serve. I simply put down a couple per person, a little of that seafood mixture. I fold over the pancakes, an optional addition of a little parmesan cheese, and there it is. Seafood pancakes, consuming passion style. Perfect, partnered with some braised leeks, and for wine accompaniment, I'd suggest some of that Semillon Sauvignon Blanc I used in the sauce. From Consuming Passions, till next time, bon appetit.